I'm Leah, and welcome to Steadfast. I was out walking today in my flower garden, and it dawned on me that there's all these beautiful colors everywhere. The flowers are just in full bloom. And even something, a pink flower here and a pink flower over here, they might be different shades of pink. It's just such variety and such beauty. And so I thought, you know what, maybe let's take a look at that today. Let's walk around and look and see everything that's blooming in the garden today. Here we have some pink vincas, and they're a little, I don't know, the flowers I guess are a little bit older because they look a little rumpled. They don't look so fresh, most of them. And we had a big rain, I think, yesterday too. And then over here are buttercups. Pretty little flowers, but I've found out that this bush is incredible. It can spread quickly, so I'm trimming it often, and I also find its offspring elsewhere, which I didn't know. Over here, we have some white vinca, and right in the middle, they have this deep, almost magenta center. This is really pretty. And then we have plumbago, which is like this purpley blue. So pretty. This is a desert rose. Aren't those just beautiful flowers? This is the mandevilla with the beautiful white flowers, and then deep down in the tube of the neck is the yellow, bright yellow, so super pretty. And over here we have some newly bloomed tassels of the pampas grass, and they have this almost a golden white, shiny, like almost like silk. It's super pretty. And the tassels are just really pretty. Have that really shiny quality to their color. And I have all kinds of shades of zinnias, and these are big ones. These are probably about 3 inches in diameter. Really super pretty. And then over here is kind of a salmon color one. Right there. It's just really pretty. And this is almost like a purpley pink. And look at the ring of yellow. Little teeny tiny flowers. Now this zinnia over here, try to get in to see it, is it's got an older bloom, but look at the colors. They're just that light pale pink. And over here, this whole bush is doing really well. And it is kind of that orangey red. Almost every time when I'm inside the house and I look outside and I see all those flowers, almost always there's a butterfly that's just flitting around on this particular one. They really like it. This is a young crepe myrtle, and these are its blooms right now. Some more up top here. These sweet pink blooms, and if you'll notice, the color of the leaves is this almost a burgundy black color. This particular plant is kind of in a struggle as well. I don't believe it's something that's gonna take it out because of the size of the plant, but if you look on the backs of these leaves, you can see these little tiny white dots. And those are white flies, and they are a pest, a disease. Now this branch doesn't have any, so that's wonderful. But yeah, this looks like it's good. We've had some rain, and the rain really helps get rid of those, but they hang out underneath the leaves as well, so they can cause a lot of trouble at times. but as long as it's growing well, I think it can, ward off that plague, so to speak. Yeah, so these are some variety of wonderful colors that are currently blooming in the flower garden, and I'm so delighted because that's like one of my favorite things to do is when I'm coming or going. It's so nice to just look outside and see just a sea of color and beauty from all these flowers. They remind me of joy, it just makes me think of rejoicing or glory, almost like they're just bursting forth and shouting out the praise of God, their creator. They're saying, look at how good he is, look at how creative he is, look at how colorful and amazing he is. And it makes me wonder, what if we could be like that to the world? What if the way we lived and the way we spoke and the things we did, what if that was a shout out to the goodness of God? And what if our joy showed the world just how wonderful our Savior really is? That would be amazing. So it's a challenge for me and a challenge for you. And I wanted to share a verse from Romans 12:12. It says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." It's a very powerful verse because it tells us three things that we can do. We can be joyful in hope. We can be patient in affliction. And, in looking at the affliction that the crepe myrtle is dealing with, if it's patient, I do believe it'll get through because it's strong enough. For us, sometimes when we're suffering or when we're in what we would call affliction, it's difficult things going on, we might feel like there's nothing we can do. What can I actually do to make anything better? Or what can I change? And so I have no action that I can take. But being patient is an action. That's something we can do. We can be patient. And the thing about being patient is it has to do with time, right? So our suffering, our affliction, none of it will ever last forever. None of it. So I think that patience is like a golden nugget of wisdom for us as we face hard things. To be able to have an antidote for suffering. What is it? Being patient. It feels like it's never going to end and it feels like I can't do anything. But really what I can do is learn patience and wait and know that the goodness of the Lord will prevail. And so that's exciting to me. And then the last part about being faithful in prayer. We can do that while we're suffering. We can pray and we can endure the suffering and pass the time sometimes by praying, or make the best use of our time by praying. So I hope that's been encouraging to you. And remember, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. And to me, all those three things together, when you think about those, they're the epitome of being steadfast in the Lord and staying rooted and grounded in Him. So I hope that was encouraging to you today and helps you to remain steadfast.